This is the Market Day Report. John Jenkinson with you. In just a moment, we're going to talk to Todd Horwitz of Bubba Trading and get his thoughts on these grain markets here today. Grain markets on the higher side after kind of a big dip there on Friday following the report. Right now, May corn up 5 1/4. It's at 361 3/4. The high in this contract's 363. We're a ways away from that. May soybeans up 11 right now, 895 1/4. On to the wheat market, and Chicago wheat leading the way higher. July up 7 3/4 at 471 1/4. All of those contracts 7 to 8 cents higher. Kansas City wheat's not too far behind. July is up 6 at 443 3/4. And the Minneapolis wheat market slowly starting to catch up to the other two wheat markets here. We've got the July up 1 3/4 now at 558 3/4. And the further out you go in those contracts, the higher the gain. In fact, 3 cents higher in the March 2020 Minneapolis wheat. May cotton right now up 10 at 77.71. December cotton up 48 at 75.92. And let's go visit with Todd Horwitz. He's with Bubba Trading and he joins us now. All right, Todd, what do you think of the action of this grain market today after what we saw happen on Friday?
Good morning, John. I was a little surprised by Friday. I thought they'd sell off a little bit, which I wrote early on Friday. I said I would be looking to be a buyer lower. They went a little lower than I thought they did. I think this is a perfectly natural bounce. I think that was really a sign of overdone, trying to play the news, and somehow the USC magically found a bunch of extra land out there to get all this extra acreage planted. But at the end of the day, I thought that the push down was a little bit too drastic, and I think now you're starting to see a rally. And if this rally continues, I think it will continue to turn into a real big short squeeze, because they've got a lot of these hedge funds and commercial funds massively short down here. And if this market starts to take off, which I believe that it will, you'll get a massive short squeeze as well out of it.
All right. When it comes to these, kind of hedge funds and things like that, just how confident or how nervous are they about the weather that's coming up?
Well, again, they really look at it from a certain point, and they see weakness, so they want to step on top of it. You know, they don't really follow the weather. They're really trying to make a trade based on what the market looks like, and the market has been rather weak. But again, we've been able to bounce off those lows each and every time and make a much bigger rally and actually make a higher high. So I think what's going to happen here is something may spook them. Okay, and they will then see this pop. They're pricing in a lot of things, but of course, hedge funds, they're willing to take a little bit more risk. It's more of a higher risk fund to begin with. So, but I think they made a mistake by trying to sell these, basically what I would call them, into the hole, because again, at these prices, it's less than input cost to get them out. So I think that that's going to create a problem down the road.
And we're using a lot of fuel here over the next few months. What do you think of this crude oil market?
Well, it surprised me, John. I didn't think we'd go back over 60. I thought that was a pretty key target. I think, again, this is probably a little bit overdone to the upside, but it could continue higher. We can't control markets and tell them where to go and when to go. I think that what's going to happen here is we'll start to see more frackers come in, more rigs come out, and then I think we'll see the price start to drop.
All right, now May crude oil is up 94 cents a barrel, 61.08. The June is up 94 also. It's at 61.22. All of those contracts trading in that $61 level. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we'll have more with Todd Bubba Horwitz in just a moment here on the Market Day Report. Well, the ag market, the grains are on the higher side, so is the livestock. Let's go right over here to the futures, and then we'll get analysis here in just a moment from Todd Horwitz. April live cattle up 90 at 126.60. June is up $1.22 at 120.22, and the August is up $1.20 at 116.88. The April is the only contract that isn't at least $1 higher. The rest of those all trading in $1 higher territory. April feeder cattle up $1.43 at 146.68. The May is up $1.55 at 150.28, and the August is up $1.57 at 157.82. The hog market, though, going the other direction, with April down 13 at 77.25, May hogs down 83 at 80.50, and the June is down 33 at 88.22. As we continue our conversation with Todd Horwitz with Bubba Trading. Todd, this hog market, ever since we broke things last week to the lower side, really seems to struggle here, looking for some kind of reason to hold on to these gains. Is this just a lack of final formal agreement with China, or is there something more at work here technically?
I think that, you know, we had in the hogs, we had the big blow off to the upside, and we're just coming back. I think today's action has been relatively bullish when you look at it. I mean, we opened much lower. We actually got positive on the day, and we're still only down a little bit. And I think when you look at the rest of the meats, everything looks just the way it should be. Very solid, very strong, looking like we want to go higher. I think the entire complex will continue to go higher. I think every time you see an opportunity and a sell-off, it's time to look to be a buyer again. I think this is one of the big things we have to understand about how the actual concept of the markets work, because all markets generally work the same, John. And when you see markets holding support on our...
All right, and the April live cattle, as we mentioned, up 88 at 126.58. Let's find out what those new cutouts say here at midday. Well, this is brand new information. The beef cutouts, both on the higher side. We've got the choice, $227.28. That's up $1.24. The selects are at $219.75. That was up 86 cents. And that leaves us with a choice select difference of $7.53 spread, but only 34 loads moved, which is a very, very light movement for this time of the morning. Usually that number's around 60 or so. On the pork side, it was a mixed affair all the way across the board, with the carcasses up 53 at 81.86. The loins down 43 at 73.13. The hams gained $1.70 at the midday report at 70.31. And the belly market up 80 cents at 146.63. So that's kind of where things stand here at